Excited to be here, to be at our home court and to have another chance to compete for a national championship on our home court. Obviously, the last time we were in this position was 2018, and a lot has occurred with our team and obviously with everyone over the last number of years. So we're excited to get back and get another chance. This team is obviously totally different. Some of the guys were freshmen that year, I think, right? JR was here, Parrish was here, but for the most part, an entirely different team, different experiences, but an exceptionally talented and deep group. So I'm excited about just the chance for them to go out and experience this moment and to have an opportunity to go and compete and win a national championship.
For Merrick, you guys were playing here last week and come short in the conference tournament. What kind of lesson do you learn from that experience to take into this tournament?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, what we learned from last week is just to not take things for granted. I mean, it was exciting to host, and it was exciting to be in front of our, home fans and things like that. But I think we went into the match a little bit too relaxed, and we definitely were able to learn from that. But also, we're not thinking about that match anymore. We've definitely moved on, and we watched the match after, and we were able to really focus on things that we need to improve on. But yeah, we definitely have put that match behind us, and we really try to focus on playing one-point volleyball, and that's what we've been doing, and we've put in the work this past week and a half to feel confident for the match tomorrow.
I guess this would go to anyone, but probably more to Merrick. I know one of UCLA's strengths is in the middle, and could you just speak more on just how important that is against a Pepperdine team that a lineup that's been a little bit different since the last time you played them?
Yeah, I mean, running down the middle of the court for any team, I think it's super hard to stop. But I think with Guy and I, and even JR Norris, we have some pretty strong middles, and we're definitely hard to stop. And we've definitely been working a lot this week on working on big and quick and just our connection and our spacing and things like that. So we really, going into this week, really are going to be focusing on our middle of the court, but we're also going to be focusing on stopping Pepperdine and whoever hopefully we play later in the week, stopping their middle of the court. So it's definitely a super important part of our game. But yeah, we just want to use it as much as possible, and we're just hoping that our passers can do their job to let our middles be able to just go to work. But we have really confident middles and middles that want the ball and that want the ball in the pressure moments and things like that. So I love being a middle, and I love getting the ball. So yeah.
Miles, what's it been like for you making the jump to a starting position and leading this team through a successful year so far?
Yeah, it's been great. We have a really deep team, as Coach said, so it's awesome having to just all my options are good. My distribution is balanced because we have such great hitters. A lot of teams are more kind of one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and we're like six-dimensional because we got players on the bench that can come in if someone's not having their day or I'm not sending them well. So it's been great this year, and they've been really supportive and picking me up when I'm down and stuff like that. So it's been great.
Surely that's not a bad problem to have a lot of people to be able to set, but for you as a setter, how do you go about kind of distributing those, making sure everyone is happy, make sure you feed the hot hand as well? How do you balance that?
Yeah, it's definitely it can be a strength, and then it has its weaknesses with everything. Yeah, it's super important to streak hitters. That's just a general thing for setting the hot hand and finding who's hot and feeling the flow of the match. So that's a challenge when everyone's a good hitter. The hot differential is small, so sometimes it's hard to figure out who's the best choice. But then at the same time, it's nice that if I make the wrong choice, it's not wrong by much. It's just by a little bit. So, yeah.
I'm just building off of that question, but for Coach, I know just having that so much depth, what a quality for a team that a lot of people would just die for. But how do you best balance team chemistry just with so many talented hitters that won't be able to see the court at all times?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot from a cultural perspective. Everybody understanding that this is about a team win. They all know that they have an opportunity to contribute. They all know how valued they are based on the contributions they make every day in practice. I mean, if you were watching practice today, second team beat the first team, and that's not uncommon. And I think they embrace that. And we talk a lot about you're competing for spots, but when it's game time, it's team time. And I think they understand that, and they've been, I think, great about it. I mean, the guys can maybe speak to it too, but I think in general, just the camaraderie and being great teammates, this has been the best year I've had in the 10 years that I've been here.
Merrick, what's it been like for you working with Miles this year? What makes him an effective setter for this team?
Yeah, honestly, it's been great working with Miles this year. I think our connection has gotten a lot more solid, and I think we've been able to trust each other a lot more as the year has gone on. But Miles is just, apart from volleyball, a super intelligent guy, and I trust as we're playing volleyball that he knows what he's doing. And I know he always has a plan in mind, and ultimately I've been able to have a lot of conversations with Miles and with the coaches, and we've had a very good, just open communication about just ways that we want to win. And so yeah, it's honestly been great working with Miles, and as the year's gone on, I've just been getting more and more confident, and you've also just been able to see it with just my hitting percentage compared to last year. Just being able to work with Miles and know that he's going to give me the balls when I need to get the balls, and he's going to, use me to pull blockers when he needs to use me in those situations. That ultimately has just made me a lot more confident as the year has gone on. But yeah, it's honestly been great working with Miles, and I'm just really happy with the point we're at right now.
Just like a general question, this is like the second straight tournament where you guys are just hosting it. What's like the advantages to just being able to play at home and being able to go back instead of having to travel it?
Honestly, it's super exciting being able to host, especially the NCAA championships. It's really nice that, once we're done here, we're going to go watch some film, and I get to sleep in my bed tonight. So that's also something that's super nice. It's also just really special to be able to, defend our home court and be able to come out and work hard on our own court. This is where we're comfortable. This is where we have the most reps, and this is where we love playing. We love being in Poly. It's such just a historic place, and we've had just so many reps in here that brings us a lot of confidence. We, have gotten comfortable with just how big it is and just, depth perception and all those things. So it's really nice not having to get on a flight and go somewhere or drive somewhere. But yeah, honestly, it's just super exciting that our friends and our family can come down, and they don't have to go too far for most of our squad. But yeah, it's super special to be here, and it's super exciting, and I truly want to be anywhere else this year. And I'd love to win my first national championship right here at UCLA. So,
Speaking about that national championship, it's been a long time since UCLA hung a banner up there outside. What would it mean to both of you guys to be able to be part of the team that brought one back home?
Yeah, honestly, it'd be super special, and something just in the locker room and with teammates that we talk about is we want to bring back OG Bruin volleyball, where they're winning, 4 times in a row and things like that. And we want to be that group that helps bring that culture and those titles back to UCLA. So ultimately, it'd be something that would be just so special to be a part of. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do and some pretty difficult matches that we're going to have to, take on to be able to earn that ring and earn that title. But it's definitely something that drives us a little bit more, I think, is, UCLA hasn't won since '06, and we would love to be the team that brings it back, and we would love to be the team that, or the guys that said, we helped bring back, UCLA winning culture and UCLA winning national championships every other year, back-to-back years. So yeah, I definitely think it's something that we don't think about too much. We definitely keep it in the back of our minds, but, that thought of being able to be that team and be those guys and just be a part of that squad is something that's really special.
Yeah, and I'd like to say one thing. What I've been thinking about, just making our win or lose, just making our coaches and all the other staff just proud. They work so hard for us. So I just know that I just want to make them proud and just do our best and give it all we got and scrap and grind. And that's one of the biggest things I'm focusing on from that perspective of the home court, is just to make our school proud. So, yeah.
Miles, what are the words? How do you feel like your experience on the beach helps you on indoor? How much translation is there between those two sports?
There's a ton of translation between pressure. Just pressure is kind of the same, but technically it's much different, especially setting. I'd say hitting, there'd be more translation. Setting is kind of a whole new world, but the pressure is still very similar, and the distractions still have about the same pull on your mental focus, so it helps for sure to have that experience.
I just wanted to ask Coach about this. I know Merrick mentioned OBrien volleyball. You were one of those chapters of OBrien volleyball back in the 90s. Just how going into this tournament, do you ever just like look back in the past and just use that as like inspiration, motivation to hopefully bring the 20th championship to UCLA?
Yeah, I don't think at the time I knew I was part of OBrien volleyball, but now I didn't know that actually until right now, and thank you for that. Certainly, I feel like I'm connected to the history in depth. I was here with Al Skates, and my assistant coach when I was a player was Reed Sunahara, and then through Reed, I was recruited by Greg Giovinazzi, and so I think my experience with Al and Reed and Gio connected me with the entire history of everybody that's an alum here. I had breakfast with Al Larson, I don't know, within the last 6 months. He's, I think, 90-something here and was on UCLA's very first volleyball team. And so I feel that history and the responsibility of that history. I think these players probably want to represent that history, but it's also their time. And I think our alumni understand that this is their time. And their time is different, and it's challenging, and it's hard, and we're going to keep knocking on the door. And I think they have a good shot to open it, and we'll see what happens this weekend. But I think we're going to be here time and time and time and time again, and our Bruin alumni are going to be proud of the way we play the game. And we're coming from UCLA. We're representing Al Skates and that demand to win national championships. We also represent John Wooden and focus on the process and how are we going to be great when your best is needed, and how are you going to be your best when your best is needed. That's ingrained in the culture of UCLA, and that's what we're going to represent this week.